This episode is brought to you by MEXC Crypto Trading Platform. With the wild swings we're experiencing in these crypto markets, why not take advantage of the wide range of cryptos to actually trade on MEXC? Find your next moonshot and never miss another crypto gem again. And use the link below and I'll airdrop you $25 worth of Bitcoin. Visit MEXC.com for more information. Link in the description below.
This my two Satoshis, who need 2 cents when they can get double from stacking Toshis, yeah.
Hola, buenos dias, GNGs. I am Trekker2Ks, and this is another episode of My Two Satoshis, brought to you here on CBTV. I just want to say, if you don't know what's going on, basically, I cover some crypto things and some non-crypto things, and I give my 2 Satoshis on it. And so I just want to also say thank you, and I really appreciate the people who are tapping in, the people who are leaving comments, the people who are giving a thumbs up, the folks who are sharing. But nonetheless, jumping into these stories, first one being is, you can now ask Google to remove personal data from its search results. I forgot what got this on my radar, and so I said, you know what, I gotta throw this one out there, especially in regards to the crypto space and how we take the privacy thing as having various tools to be able to enforce privacy when you want it. In this day and age of everything digital and information being out there, this arguably is a tool, right, that we can now have access at the regular, everyday, you and me level. I will say, however, there are some caveats to this, because I actually went to the link that's in the article, which the link for this article will be in the description on this, so you can definitely follow up and check these things out. So basically, the Alphabet-owned internet search giant recently rolled out a new policies and tools that allow users to quickly and easily request the removal of personal data, like your phone number, email, or even a physical address from search results. Previously, users had to show evidence of potential harm, such as doxing or identity theft, to get Google to remove personal information from search results. The company noted in April in a blog post. Damn, that was a horrible read through. Anywho, the basic idea is that, like, back in the day, and arguably still now, if you want to scrub your presence or certain information about yourself, it costs a nice chunk of change. And also to understand in context, this is only for Google's server and what they have in their system. The point being is that just going to Google doesn't eliminate you from the other servers out there. That's the point. And also, depending on how sophisticated someone is on being able to find out information about you, even if you went to, let's say, the top 3, it doesn't mean that you eliminated everything. That's the other thing to note about this. One of the caveats I'll also throw in on this is not every request is guaranteed approval. The company may not remove your personal data from its search results if the information is newsworthy, for instance, if it appears in a relevant news article, or if it's included on a government website or other official source, according to Google. So anyone can have access to this Google thing. I'm not going to say it's the end all be all, and arguably, like, it's still Google. So it isn't that, let me get close in on this. It isn't that they're like, oh, we're just completely going to take your information out. This isn't like how the UK thing, for how basically your digital footprint, you can ask a company to remove your information and they call it be forgotten. But technically speaking, if it's digital and it touched the internet, no information, no data is forgotten. It's just a matter of, do you have access to the data? It's a technical difference. Nonetheless, we're going to jump into this next story. Blockstream, Block, and Tesla partner up to create eco-friendly mining farm powered by the sun. So if you've been under a rock for, let's say, the last 2 years, the whole EV movement, or not EV movement, but the whole green movement for power and consumption of energy, it has been on a high throttle, and crypto mining in relation to proof of work has been like the #1 bullseye on the target right now. So I'm gonna read through some of these highlights. Block and Blockstream are setting up a green Bitcoin mining station in Texas, powered by Elon Musk's sustainable solar battery mega packs produced by Tesla Inc. I'm not going to get into like the numbers as far as power is concerned, because unless you're really into the mining thing, it really just means jack and just goes over your head, honestly. That's my interpretation of it, but you can still look at this article if you want to, because the link to it will be in the description. And if you disagree with anything that I say, guess what? The comments are open. Say something, educate me on this mining thing, why this might be bad or wrong, okay? Nonetheless, mega power packs are already manufactured by Tesla and behave like giant batteries by storing solar power. They're not widely popular yet as they are not ready for general public use. The mining stations in Texas will be the first ones to use megapacks as an energy source. So this is basically them right here. The covers are on them so you don't really see anything. You go to the article, you can definitely follow through on this tweet that Blockstream pushed out. Blockstream, by the way, is with Adam Back, and Adam Back's a pretty smart dude and he's an OG in the space. I think that this definitely has legs to move forward, and understanding that there is a relation between having a better security model, better consensus model as we understand the Bitcoin protocol now, and then still being able to do some elements of a better sustainable green energy technical setup as far as your power source and things like that is concerned. So like that part, I think this is cool. I think this is a good thing. But nonetheless, the point being is that the way that the energy needs of Bitcoin mining goes for proof of work, let's get close on this, is that it drives for you to find the cheapest power source. So if you have to put in other sustainable alternatives to be able to use battery storage or solar power directly, that works for you to get a lower power cost. And considering that you have the power source out of it that you're looking to improve on efficiency, you're also looking to improve on the hardware. So now you're working it from both ends. And that's what I kind of see with this particular situation as far as this team, or this trifecta of team up goes. I also want to throw this out there. Who remembers when, and they bring it up in this, when Elon was making a point like, oh, Tesla's going to accept crypto, well, Bitcoins. And then there was that renege that he did where it's like, oh, it's kind of high and it doesn't do enough as the environmental stuff. So I'm going to step back and we're not going to accept it like that right now. That was the move right there. That was the sideways signal, be like, I'm not going to accept it until I can figure out how to involve my company in the proof of work infrastructure setup. And lo and behold, we got a proof of concept being put out in front of us right here. For some of y'all who are looking at where I don't want to get into the direct mining thing, if you're in Tesla, if you in Block, AKA Cash App, this is your indirect way of being in the space. This is not financial advice. This is just an observation that I'm having about how Elon just moved in on the crypto space to arguably set himself up to be able to launch into other protocols. That's what I would see this as, but that's just me, right? Nonetheless, moving on to this next story. So yes, X amount of people talked about this story, but I'm gonna say not enough people were putting it in context of what this means. I'm gonna read through some of these highlights and then give my little interpretation. First off, May 10th, crypto exchange Coinbase releases its Q1 2022 earnings report, doing little to calm the choppy markets. I'm not even caring about the choppy markets. I'm caring about that they released the report. It showed net revenue down 53% from the previous quarter to, let's just go with 1.1 billion, and the net loss of 330 million. Mizuho analyst, I don't know how, I'm saying the name wrong, I know it, Dan Devell, attributed this falling trading volume due to the early arrival of crypto winter. Personally, I'm not even going off of what dude is saying in relation to that. That's whatever thing. Link for this will be in the description, as I say. Now, next important thing to me, I just wanted to show y'all that yes, there's a drop in the trading volume. There's a drop in the customer acquisition. What was it? X amount of videos back, I had talked about how there was a call on, was all of the Super Bowl marketing working? Was it attributing to new users? That article indicated like, no, it didn't actually do what was spent out. Like it didn't make the return. This article arguably is kind of leading into saying the same thing of, hey, there's been a drop and it's based on Coinbase's own numbers. What's more, some investors were surprised to discover a bankruptcy disclosure statement in the report. It states customers could be treated as unsecured creditors, meaning they may not get their funds back should the firm go bust. Now, jumping down to this next line. In the event of the firm going bankrupt, entities owned money are paid in a particular order per section 507 of the bankruptcy code. First in line are secured creditors, next are unsecured creditors, and then third are stockholders, or last. Anywho, last line, and I think this is like sideways a little jab thing that the dude Samuel Wan was doing in regards to Coinbase with this line of, With Coinbase trading volume dropping 40% in the first quarter, the warning signs are there. But then again, is Coinbase too big to fail? So here's my wrap up. Notice that, let me get close on this. Notice that we are not talking about the technology. We're not talking about the open sourceness of it, that anybody can have access to it. What we're talking about is the technology being used in a financial aspect, which means we're talking about use case. And then we're also saying that, yes, this is a new type of asset, but we're going to treat it with the traditional financial rules and policies around what happens when a financial institution, such as a bank on the commercial or retail level, goes under. They have the ability to take account holders, whether they be secured or unsecured. My point to this is Coinbase is telling you publicly, and the funky part is they're only doing it because of the rules in regards to the SEC and how they have to make certain public disclosures. What I find more interesting though is that the way that the article is written, and then some of the other things I've seen for when this story actually came out, they made it seem like it was a surprise. No one knew this was there because they just put it in. It's like, but they did a terms of service update. They make these things public. No one read it and then said anything public about it. That's the thing. No one read it and then said anything public about it. It was already there. And so now that they made this public disclosure, guess what happens down the road when the recession that's happening here at the regular everyday people level starts an impact, which we have an indicator of? People aren't doing the same level of trading volume. So if this company does go under, because now they are a public company on the NASDAQ, guess what happens? You as a regular account holder, you're considered an unsecured debt. And then they can do what they need to do to try to keep the company afloat, but more importantly, pay out the people who are the big willies who invested into the company. Right now, it came out the other day that the top 4 people in Coinbase all together, I think either sold like $1 billion worth of stuff, or they made like $1 billion or something each from selling stocks in the company or something along that line. The point being is it's a setup happening and they're telling you publicly, but folks are still going to look to leave their stuff on Coinbase even if they don't trade. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just some guy on the internet who wears shades. This isn't financial or legal advice or none of that. I don't know what your pockets look like, but these are things that you might want to take into consideration when you move through these different platforms, especially these centralized exchanges. To me, this is a watershed moment that is going to come down the pike for other exchanges, maybe not making it public in the same way, but I imagine that other exchanges and their compliance folks are going, oh, we're in that same boat, and we might need to say something publicly or do something. Because if Coinbase said this, in my opinion, it means that they can see something on the horizon of where they might have to utilize the option. And at the end of the day, they're just gonna be like, well, we told the public what was up and they still stayed with us. So what you gonna do now? Anywho, I don't wanna beat the horse. I'm gonna leave it on that. Again, I'm just some guy on the internet. This ain't financial advice. And I'm gonna close it out with these last couple of things. One is thank you for following through all the way to the end of this episode. And as we've been saying, we're trying to work on these things in the background. So we're doing giveaways to the paid members of the CBTV channel, as far as the hard wallet, which is the Oculus hard wallet. And that generally happens on the weekend for the live streams. And then we're also working on doing the Blockchain Futurist Conference, which will be in August, and doing a giveaway ticket for that, as well as having a 50% off referral code, which is TREK, TREKK50. So if you like to travel, or if you're already in Canada, hey, utilize it. Also, you can just tap in on these episodes of My Two Satoshis to learn how to get the free ticket that will get you into Blockchain Futurist Conference this August, which is, I forgot the dates right now, but nonetheless, it's happening this August. And other than that, I'm gonna just say, G&Gs, have a productive over busy day. 1.